Hey guys, today we're talking about the effects of all the government spending and change in taxes and how it affects the economy in the long run. We've been talking about how, a change of spending or a change of taxes has a multiplied effect on like GDP and the economy, and because of the multiplier effect. And it seems like in a recession, the government should really spend its way out or maybe cut taxes or do something to help the economy grow and to get our GDP back on track. And while in the short run, yes, more government spending or lower taxes increases GDP, which shifts aggregate demand to the right and closes the recessionary gap. While that does work, uh, it has effects negatively in the long run. And so, if more spending or lower taxes does raise GDP, like why not we do it all the time? And so there's this new graph that we're learning today. It's called the Loanable Funds Market, or LFM for short. It's right here, Loanable Funds Market, Loanable Funds. And this graph helps explain why when the government runs a deficit by either spending too much money or bringing in too little taxes, why that's bad in the long run. So this loanable funds market, before I explain this whole story that goes along with it, let's talk about what it illustrates. It illustrates money in the bank available for loans, the supply of money in the bank available for loans, and the demand of money in the bank available for loans. So like if you guys go to college and take out a loan, there's more demand for loans because you guys would be demanding those loans. If people decide not to go to college to take out loans for them, then there'd be less demand for loans. So the real interest rate was basically the price of those loans. We usually have price or price level on this y-axis, and the price of a loan is the real interest rate. And then you have quantity of loanable funds, which just means the quantity of money in the bank. Supply, demand, and the equilibrium interest rate and the equilibrium quantity. So if the government was to raise spending or cut taxes, it creates a deficit. And that what a deficit is when there's more government spending than taxes. Government spending is greater than taxes, either because government spending went up or because taxes went down. Either one. And if they did both, then it would just drive us into a deficit that much further. But this leads the government to borrow money because if they spend too much money, they're going to have to get it from somewhere. And just like you and I, if we were to run out of money, we'd go to the bank to borrow a loan. The government does the same thing. They take out loans from banks as well. And if the government takes out loans from a bank, then they take it all out. There's less available for us. So let's see if I can draw on here. Nope. I need my drawing tools. Wow. Oh, do I have captions? Is it captioning me right now? There it is. Okay, so here's my drawing tool. All right, so let's say that the government is like, ooh, we just spent all of our money because we were trying to get us out of a recession, or maybe they cut taxes to get people spending again. Either way, they're going to borrow money from banks, and supply of money available in the bank decreases and shifts to the left. There's less supply, which raises the real interest rate. Interest rates are higher because there's less available. Just think of anything when there's less supply of it, it becomes more expensive. And so the interest rates on loans increase, and businesses can't take out as many loans as they could because interest rates are too high. It's too expensive for the pizza shop owner to take out a loan to buy a pizza oven. It's too expensive for businesses to go out and create a new location somewhere else. They need a loan for that. And if loans are too expensive, they're not going to go out and buy that capital. They're not going to go out and have investment spending. And that right there, if there's less capital, less pizza ovens, less capital goods, there's going to be less consumer goods in the long run. And so while in the short run, more spending or lower taxes does raise GDP, In the long run, the real interest rate increases raises the cost of loans and crowds out investment spending, meaning like businesses can't really get to the bucket of loans available because the government's kind of crowding it out. They're taking it all for themselves. And this decreases long run economic growth. And we see that on a PPF curve. If we've got capital goods on one side, and consumer goods on the other axis, higher interest rates means fewer business spending on pizza ovens and other capital machinery and less consumer goods in the long run. And therefore, there will be a leftward shift of the PPF curve in the long run because of short-term deficit spending causes the economy to shrink in the long run. And that's called the crowding out effect and the relationships between deficits and interest rates. So here's the moral of the story. If you were to remember anything today, deficit spending, while helps in the short run by raising aggregate demand, it decreases economic growth in the long run because of higher interest rates. That is the big summary of today. All right, so that shows you why some people might be against deficit spending, because in the long run, you pay the price with a smaller PPF curve and lower national income for everybody.